Man named Darrell. You know, it's an honor and a privilege to do anything in Narcotics Anonymous. Whether it's doing some service work, whether it's sponsoring someone, sitting down with a sponsor, doing some step work. It is truly an honor and a privilege. This morning, or it was yesterday, I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking greens, right? And the phone rang, and I said, I'll get it later. And when I came to it and I looked at it, I saw that it was my sponsor. I said, Dad, wonder what did he want? And then I started thinking, he's going to ask me to speak. That's what he's going to do. I know it's coming. There's no reason why he will call me the day before the conference at this time. I called him back and he said, hey, kid, how you doing? You think you can do something for me, kid? Only if you can. And I was taught from him, you know, never say no to Narcotics Anonymous, because Narcotics Anonymous never said no to me. You know, I said it'd be an honor. I got you. So I want to thank the committee, my sponsor, for taking the chance on an addict like me. My clean date is September 1st of 2000. And I don't say that to brag. I say that after my sponsor told me, Darrell, if you don't remember the last time you used, maybe you haven't used for your last time. You know, that topic was so perfect for me because, like, when I got here, you know, I got introduced to Narcotics Anonymous in 1989. I didn't get clean till 2000. So that tells you, you know, what I was doing. But like, you know, I would get like 30 days clean, man. You know what I mean? Be on top of the world and go use and come back and pick up a 24-hour key tag. And member would holler, what happened? I'd be like, I relapsed. You know what I mean? And then members would be like, you gotta get a sponsor in a home group, you know, and I get a sponsor, you know what I mean? And I get about 60 days clean and I use and I come back and pick up a 24-hour key tag and members will holler, what happened? I'd be like, I relapsed. You know, same thing happened again, in and out of psych wards, in and out of rehabs. You know, say when I'm in rehab, I'm staying clean this time. I guarantee you I'm going to stay clean. And I come out and get another 30 days clean. Members would tell me, get in the middle, get involved, work the steps, get it, you know what I mean? I said, first I had to get a, you know, home group and a sponsor. Now they want me to work the steps. I mean, this is just too much. You know what I mean? Because I just didn't want to do the work. You know what I mean? I wanted all the rewards with no work to put in. You know, and use again. Three months, use again. You know what I mean? And same thing. Go to me, pick up 24-hour key tags, and members would say, what happened? And I'd be like, I relapsed. A relapse is working a 12-step program for a period of time, then going back to your choice of drug. I wasn't working no 12-step program. I was just using again. See, this program is about, if I ain't working the steps or trying to live the steps in this process, if I go back out and use and I ain't done none of that, I'm just using again. See, when I came around here this time in 2000, I came in and a guy was in there, they was doing clean time. He was jumping all up and down, and I said, that man is free. He's free. And I went over and asked him, I was scared. I said, would you be my sponsor? He said it'd be an honor and a privilege. I said, what did you say? What did you call me? And he said to me, Darrell, it's how it works, not how we do nothing in this program. And I had no idea what he was talking about. But I soon found out. The Recovery Club in McKeesport. I got probably about 5 days clean. He comes to me and says, you're going to be working at the Recovery Club. Really? Yeah. You're going to be here at 9 o'clock in the morning, setting up, getting everything together, and I'll see you when I get off work. And he gets off work about maybe 4. He gets to the club about 5. So I'm at the club, and he said, you got all these home groups, but you ain't doing nothing in these home groups. You're the GSR. For what group? Pick one. You got 7 of them, Darrell. Pick one. But I'm so grateful for all the, like, he stayed on me so much. I mean, like, I just wouldn't grow up, y'all. I mean, like, I would come in here, dressing it up. I dress this up. You know how we dress this shit up and think that, like, since I look good, that I'm all good. No. He would always tell me, hey, little kid, you got another pair of tennis shoes and a new outfit. You're looking smooth. You're looking good, kid. You're looking good. But what he was trying to tell me is, like, you got to quit spending all your money on the clothes and start, spending some time in your recovery. Because that ain't recovery if you dress it up. You might think that's a recovery, but it ain't. And, like, I remember one time he said, we're going to go to area service. I said, what's that? He said, don't worry about it. Just get in the car. We're on area service. We get the area service. He comes over to me. I'm sitting there. I'm scared to death. And he comes with a big old box. Big box. And I'm thinking, like, what you got in that box? And he pulls out the stapler and he said, I want you to stamp all this literature. And I open up the box. I'm like, God damn, man, I ain't got enough time to do all this, do I? He said, yeah, start now and you'll finish by the time we get done at 6 o'clock with area service. And that was at 1 o'clock, so I had plenty of time to stamp all that literature. You know what I mean? So like my sponsor knew that, like, I was doing dumb stuff. Like I had women that had that like had it going on and picked me. You know what I mean? Like I ain't have a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out. I was at the recovery club. I was working in the back of the room, right? And I'm counting up the money. It's at the end. I'm counting up the money out of the drawer. And then my grand sponsor, Bob J, rest his soul, he said, Darrell, get him, Darrell. I'm like, what's going on? I mean, the club is packed. I'm like, what's going on? So the 2 girls that I'm messing with, they fighting each other. You know what I mean? Instead of me saying, no, let me get up here and break it up, I'm thinking, like, dang, they fighting over me. Oh, shit, I'm the shit. I just didn't understand it. But it was the booty that he would say, Darrell, leave the booty alone and get some of this recovery. See, my sponsor was the type of dude, he'd do recovery all day long. All day long. We get one break, we go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, get something to eat, and we continue on. And I'm talking about all day long. Every day. Not done every day. I said, he dropped me off at night, and he said, I'll be here in the morning at 9 o'clock on the weekend. I'll be here at 9 o'clock to pick you up, kid. I remember I had my son. I was like, well, I got a little Darrell, Phil, I got a little Darrell. He said, so we will put him in the back. We'll take him with us. Don't worry about it. But my sponsor, I remember him giving me that step work, man. And he gave me that first step, and he said, Darrell, go home and start writing on your step. And he would see me. He let a couple of days go past, and he, Darrell, how's that step going? I'm like, oh yeah, it's going good. It's going good. He says, Darrell, you're lying. Go home and write on it, okay? It's about doing some work around here. And I went home and I finally, read that first step and got to writing on it. And that's where the journey began, because I started to find out a whole bunch of stuff about myself that, like, dang, I really didn't want it to come out, but it came out. I was a selfish, mama's boy, and everything was given to me. You know what I mean? I come from a family of 8. Everybody thought I was the baby. I was the last one to leave the house. Me and my daughter lived with my mother. I was 25 years old when I left the house. Everybody else is gone. My father would always say, don't you think it's time for you to get your own place? You got your daughter and all this stuff. And I'd be looking at him. My mom say, leave him alone, Nate. Leave him alone. That's not anything. Leave him alone. So I never knew about responsibility. You know what I mean? I didn't know about being accountable. You know what I mean? But my sponsor was always about service. He told me that, like, I don't know if everybody, agrees with service, but I know that, like, service kept me in the middle, kept me clean, man. And I learned so much from the people that came before me through service. A lot of people at area service say, how you know all that? because I was in here early, man. I had some great examples in front of me. You know what I mean? I had my sponsor, Phil, and Bob J, and all those cats. You know, they were great examples in front of me. You know what I mean? I remember Bob J told me, this was early in my recovery. And this might help some couple people in here. But he told me, he said, him and this young lady was, they got in an argument. She was the RCM, and I think he was the programming chair. And they got in an argument in the area service. I mean, they was going at it. It looked like they was about to start the fight. And then as I'm cleaning up afterwards, I go outside and those two are laughing. And he takes me home, and I say, guess y'all, you know, y'all made up. He said, Darrell, one thing about service, you're going to disagree, you're going to have arguments, but before you leave that door, you leave it there, and you go home, and you live your life. So that's what I always go by. I get in a lot of disputes at area service. People get tired of me, you know what I mean? But I'm only sharing my experience because there was somebody before me, people before me that shared their experience to allow me to grow in my process. When I start working the steps and applying principles, I start growing up, I start getting better with life, I started being responsible. Me and Cliff's sons used to run together, you know what I mean? His son and my son came home and said he saw Cliff's son up at the mall. And I said, oh yeah, I said, he said Uncle Cliff's son, because he called him Uncle Cliff. He said, Uncle Cliff's son came up to me and I didn't even know who he was. I said, you didn't? He said, nope, Dad, you would have never known. He had real long hair, it's curly now. You know, I think it was JC. He said it was JC. But you know, my son grew up in his program too. You know what I mean? And if I didn't grow up, you know what I mean? How's I'm going to be able to be a father figure for my son if I'm doing some same stupid stuff? I believe in it, like, look, if you think that you can come in this program and tiptoe around and do nothing, exactly what you're going to get. But check this out. The moment that something big happened to you, if you ain't got nothing up under you, you daggone North fall. Because there was a whole lot of times that I could have failed. You know, this time when I had my sponsor in 2000, there was a whole bunch of times. And he always tell me, Darrell, you do a lot of insanity. He said, you do the insanity, I'll do the recovery. And he said it more than 100 times. Darrell, you do the insanity, I'll do the recovery. Now let's go get some of this recovery. All day long, every day. You know what I mean? I'm talking about this man put so much into my recovery, right? Because he knew that if I didn't get it right this time, I was going to be dead. So he put a lot in, a lot of patience. And he sponsors a lot of guys now, a lot of guys. When I was the sponsee, I think he had 4 sponsees. He probably got 30 now. You know what I mean? But one thing I know, he don't treat me no different. He don't treat them no different than he treated me. If you want recovery with him, all you got to do is say, I want some recovery. And he will give you something to do. And even if you don't want to do something, he will give you something to do. He sponsored me the longest in the sponsee family. I don't have the most clean time, but he sponsored me the longest. And it's like a child. You know, like a child, that spoiled little kid. You know, I want time with my sponsor all the time. I used to be my sponsor every day for like 12 years. Let my sponsee brothers get the same thing that he gave me. I'm like, nah, you didn't call me back. What's going on? Darrell, I'm working a step with another sponsee, okay? But it's that man-to-man thing that he taught me. I always say this, he's been like more like a father to me than a sponsor, because sponsorship is not going to, shouldn't be, you know, trying to be your father. But he's been like a father to me. I didn't have a relationship with my father, you know, so it was time to grow up and die, you know, grow up or die, or get with this program, do some service work some steps, apply some principles, and grow. I'm an named Darrell.